Black Adam. How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your Naughty Buddy Putty here, and today I just got done watching Black Adam. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit different than I usually do. I am going to be going into spoilers eventually, but because things are so wrapped up, and I feel like if a movie's good, the more work is put into it. Put a little nice intro, things of that nature, but I want to talk about bare bones how I feel about this movie. But before I do that, guess what? This guy over here, him, he's in Fortnite. And if you could, please use my supporter credit code Putty in the Fortnite item shop. That's Putty. I'd appreciate it when you're buying Black Adam or anything else. Just use my code if you don't mind. But now we're going to talk about Black Adam. And I feel when it comes to DCEU, it struggles so much in the realm of trying not to oversell themselves and keep things simple, because apparently DC doesn't understand simple when they're working with the DCEU. Understand when they make stuff like Joker, things that are not part of the grander DC universe, they do a great job. But then when they're like, we have to add things from the DCEU, they go over abundant. Now here's the thing though. Outside of that though, there are a lot of good qualities I feel in this movie. My number one, casting. Casting is outstanding. Every bit of casting is amazing. Pierce Brosnan is probably my favorite casting decision in this whole movie. He plays his character so well, but there's more to it that I'm good and bad about it, and it has nothing to do with Pierce Brosnan. Him as an actor playing the role of Dr. Fate is amazing. And I want more. I want more of Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. And that's even to say the rest of the cast was amazing. Every character was amazing. Cyclone, Atom Smasher, Hawkman. Hawkman was another great one that I really enjoyed. The casting decision I felt in this movie was amazing. Soundtrack-wise, the soundtrack was great at moments, which I'll get into my spoiler review when I get to it. But the plot just seems so convoluted. When you have a company like Disney that owns Marvel, they had made themselves an opportunity to grow slowly and then add things. Yeah, they kind of gotten too far ahead of themselves and think they can do anything, but at least there's a world that's been structured. I don't feel like the DCEU has a structure, and I feel like it's still struggling to make that structure keep up because of all the controversy and all the bad things that have happened when it comes to the DCEU and casting and everything. I mean, Amber Heard, the guy that played Flash, I can't think of his name right now, both of them have really hindered on at least one role, which is the Flash, that's major in the DC universe. So I feel like they're trying to fix and stitch what's been broken and made the DCEU bad. But the problem is you're too far gone. You didn't have your own Iron Man in the beginning. I feel like Man of Steel is what you thought was going to be your Iron Man, and it never really was. It was good, but it's not the best. And that's the feeling I kind of get with Black Adam. It wants to be good. I enjoyed it. Not saying there wasn't enjoyable parts, but when they wanted to pull at any kind of emotion, you couldn't feel it because you didn't have time to care. And if that doesn't make sense, then understand it's hard to explain something like that when you haven't seen the movie yet to understand. But with that being said, I more want to go into what I think about certain characters and so on and so forth. So how do I feel about this? Well, let's put it this way. Right now in the DCEU, the Suicide Squad is high atop there. I mean, I feel like James Gunn, if he took over the DCEU, he would do an amazing job. The second one would probably be the first Wonder Woman. Here's the thing. This movie is not as bad as the original Suicide Squad. It's maybe not as bad as Justice League in my eyes. But I feel like Justice League just has its characters that hold it. I don't know. See, again, the casting on this was so amazing that I feel like even the casting on this was better than some of the stuff they casted in Justice League. And Ezra Miller was the one I was thinking of. Ezra Miller at first was a great casting for Flash. But now we see why not to cast the crazies. So, just to be blunt, I enjoyed this movie, but if I were to give it a number, I'd say 6 out of 10. Like, it's okay. It's definitely not the best DCU. It's definitely not the worst. It feels like it fits in that middle ground. We're right close to Shazam, in my eyes. Is it better than Shazam? That's where we're hitting a pole where I think casting in this, bar none, is better than Shazam will ever have. Story, maybe Shazam feels a little more constructed. I don't know. But you'll understand why I'm using Shazam as a basis for my comparison when you see the movie. So here's the thing. I'm going to put a little text down here. Spoilers right down there. Because we're going to just go ahead and dive right into spoilers. I won't be doing too much, so don't worry. It's not going to be crazy. Now, with that being said, as usual, I wrote notes on my phone. Now, I didn't go deep into this because, one, there's some things I didn't know. Two, I really didn't feel like trying to break down a lot of the stuff. But there was some stuff that I'm going to point out that I know people aren't going to notice, or just because I just want to talk about it. First, killer soundtrack. The beginning of this movie had killer songs playing. Like, great songs playing. Then it went to an orchestra. And it lost its beat on these cool songs. The songs they did leading Black Adam, as you saw, the music in the beginning when he first fought all those choppers, freaking amazing. Then we went back into the orchestra music. And, okay, I get it. You don't want to push the mainstream music or music that's popular, but it really worked for a while. And then you took it away, and I felt like I don't feel like you should put real music from like a soundtrack and then suddenly go into orchestra music. I feel like it takes you out of the element, especially when I was like, oh my god, this movie's starting awesome. Where'd the music go? Like, it feels that way when it comes to this movie. But again, it's still killer soundtrack at some point. Next, let's go into the casting. The casting was amazing. I'm a little bit mad about one thing. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was amazing. But here's my thing. This is where I find DCEU screws up a lot. Dude, give us a Dr. Fate movie before this movie. Make me care for Dr. Fate. Pierce Brosnan is a great actor, and he plays Dr. Fate so fucking great. Like, I had to cuss just to say it. So fucking great. Why did you kill him? Okay, maybe he's coming back. I don't know. But either way, you should have given us the Doctor Strange, Dr. Fate movie that we deserve, then lead into this. Like, I don't understand why they're so adamant about adding characters that could be so great, but then they're just one-time characters just to make the other character, this guy, look better. Like, Dr. Fate is a great character that just didn't get the screen time I felt he deserved, and I feel like if Pierce Brosnan had a good script, this movie, a Dr. Fate movie, would be freaking amazing. Now, other characters, Hawkman, the Hawkman they picked was amazing. But I'm still going to go back to Dr. Fate and say Pierce Brosnan knocked out of the park because he's Pierce Brosnan. The plot story was bad. But Dr. Fate, I think he did a good job. Okay, so there's a lot of things I wanted to go through in here. I have the Justice Society name, which if you don't know, Justice League, Justice Society, it's branches. It's kind of like Avengers West Coast, things of that nature. It's branches. Black Adam burns Superman's face on the poster. That's actually kind of funny, and you'd understand. Again, we might be getting the story we wanted when it comes to Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam because of the mid-credit scene, which we'll get to that later. Okay, so this is going to be very meta that I'm going to tell you. At a point in the movie, you see that Black Adam's son, Harut, is bigger. He's not the small kid. You see him bigger. He's in the Shazam outfit, but he looks different. But he kind of looks like The Rock, doesn't he? Well, there's a clear reason for that. If you've ever seen Young Rock, there's 3 stages that they show of The Rock in the show, of him as a young kid, a teenager, and a young adult when he first goes into WWE. The actor that plays the young adult version, the oldest version of The Rock, is playing his son in this movie. So The Rock and the Rock actor that played The Rock's son when The Rock played Black Adam and played his son in this movie. I just blew your mind, didn't I? And then finally, the mid-credit scene. We didn't get an end credit scene. We did get a mid-credit scene. Here's my thing with the mid-credit scene. Yay, Superman's here. We finally get the epic battle that we want between Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam. That can now actually happen. But, like, it when so forced that it didn't feel like it was part of it, and it felt so... Here's the thing. DC, when you're DCU, when you're trying to add mid-credit scenes, end-credit scenes, shoehorning, it never works. When it's planned out and made to set up something even grander, throwing Superman in there's not going to work. Throwing Batman in there's not going to work. We need new characters that are going to lead to other things, but that are good lead characters. The end credit scene where we got Deathstroke, in not Deathstroke, but I'm forgetting his name now, but in Justice League, was so bad. And it's the same thing here. They are so bad at adding their mid-credit, end-credit scenes. They're not learning from Marvel in any way. They put too many characters in this movie. They put too much emphasis on action and not plot design. And when Dr. Fate died, I felt no sorrow for it. And I loved the character, and I love how Pierce Brosnan played the character. But his death is just so... I mean, again, I'm not worried. I'm sure they can... well, I know they can, do something about that. But still, at the same time, it's not... There's no momentum to his death now. Like, we need to lead into it so that a way, when an FP comes back, it's better. But this just didn't feel right. I feel like Dr. Fate was probably the most... one of the most cherished characters in my eyes that did not get the love that he deserved. But, you know what? What are you going to do? You can't change anything. But I want to know what you guys think. Did you like Black Adam? Do you felt I'm over being criticized about it? I feel like with me being so nice towards movies that I'm starting to be a little bit more critical because I'm starting to see any plot holes in designs. And I saw it in this, though I did enjoy it. But guys, there it is. That is my review of Black Adam. If you guys enjoyed this review, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you use my supporter code when you pick up the Putty. When you pick up the Black Adam skin in Fortnite, and that code is Putty, P-U-T-T-Y. And as always, I'm Putty with the G-Pod crew, and you know what we do. We do reviews of Black Adam, like this too. I'm more excited for Wakanda Forever. I can't wait, guys. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.